two matchups before us. We're going to be kicking things off with Team Liquid going up against Berserker eSports. Oh boy. For the time being, I'm going to be solo casting, going to be on my own. I will be joined by a fellow Duckling later on in the evening for the second matchup of the night. But here for the first one, it'll be myself, my lovely plushies, and the chat as well. Oh, take care of me, Papi. Take care of me. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty intense matchup here. Berserker eSports, they've been having a bit of a harder time this season of WTL. To be fair, it is their first season. It's the first time they're here in the World Team League, and they are having a crack at it. And yeah, they have been able to punch up from time to time. They have been able to take maps. They have been able to make teams work for it. And I'm hoping to see that here once again. This one, though, this first matchup is going to be a rough one. It's going to be Clem going up against Spatz. Spatz, I think I would argue, is the favorite or is the ace player. I'm not going to say the favorite. Oh my god. The ace player of Berserker eSports. He's had a lot of really good results. He's had a lot of really good showings. But he's up against the ace of Team Liquid. Not just the ace. Clem is one of the best players in the world. The best Terran player in all of Europe. Apparently an A-tier player, which I think is fine. I think we've spoken about it before, but the S tier is very exclusive. And here we go in the bottom right-hand corner. For Near Humanity, it is Clem. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Near Humanity, for Berserker eSports, we have Spatz. Here we go, but alas, Clem is a beast, has been getting a lot of really good results recently, and is coming in as the clear favorite, is coming in looking to lead his team on their path to victory here, on their path to the playoffs of WTL, as we are nearing kind of the end of the season. I say kind of the end. We are now more than halfway through the round robin stage. We only have a couple of weeks left before we do end up in the playoff bracket, so every match counts, every point counts as well, as it all does add up towards the end. And those last couple of weeks are going to be brutal. It's going to be difficult to distinguish the best between themselves. So yeah, Team Liquid, they're going to have to get a really good result here if they want to be able to get past some of these other solid teams. You know, teams like Arbidos, teams like the Starving Camels and Shopify Rebellion as well. It's going to be quite tight towards the end. And we like it that way. We do like it as we're getting into our first game. This is going to be on Near Humanity. For those wondering, the first map is predetermined. They have had quite a number of days to prepare for their matchup. And I'm sure, especially with ESL Masters wrapping up for all the different regions, I'm sure all of these players are hyper-focused on their WTL matches, at least until Yongshipping does come upon us, at least until DreamHack and the ESL Masters offline event does come out. Until then, World Team League is the event to be all about, and we have some pretty interesting openers overall here. We do have our first Zealot racing across the map. It is Near Humanity because of the short rush distance by ground. You can try and pull this off, but it is going to be fended back by this Reaper. To the safety of the Adept, at least the Zealot does survive. We can see here that Spatz is going to be going for a Twilight Council opener. Is going to be going for, I imagine, Blink of all things, going to be looking to be quite aggressive here. And for the time being, Clem hasn't seen too much. He has been denied entry in towards the natural, is looking to maybe try to slip into the main if possible, to try to get past this depth and try to get a scout off. Until then, though, we do have Clem setting up back at home. A CC on location, of course, getting it up and running. Behind this, we have our 1-1-1. Nothing too crazy. We even have a Hellion on the way. This isn't for any kind of committed Hellion play. This should just be, again, for a scout. You know, if the Reaper can't get in, well, we're going to have a Hellion to join it soon so we can run past any kind of defenses for the Protoss player and race into the main and, again, try to figure out what is going on, whether it is Blink, whether it's a Stargate, whether it's even, I don't know, some weird DT opener or even Charge. Like, Spatz has shown us that he can be quite, I almost want to say cheesy or unorthodox is like a nice way to put it. Spatz has been really unique in his play styles over the past couple of weeks. It's been really interesting to see him kind of come into form, but here we go. The Reaper dips into the main base, the Hellion towards the natural. The Reaper does get focused down by that Stalker. Minimal losses so far, but the Stalker! What? Papi? Spatz? That Hellion is going to town in the natural as we speak. 5 probes already going to be going. It's still going! No! 7 workers go down. Maybe Spatz a little bit preoccupied with the Adeptras across the map, but that is going to hurt so much as 8 probes go down and counting. Can we get another? The probes are definitely lining up. He wants them. 10. That was not supposed to do anywhere near as much damage. The Stalker was there. The Stalker. It's one of those Stalkers that's at work. And like, I don't know, like there's like an unruly customer or something, and the Stalker's like, look, I work here from 9 to 5. It's not my risk. I'm just I got a job to do. And the job of that Stalker was to be a part of the wall. Meanwhile, we have a Widowmine job, no reaction whatsoever. The mine shots are going to be going off in the natural and in the main base, and oh no. 6 more probes go down, 16 in total. An entire mineral line has fallen, and one of the Widowmines has survived. The aggression doesn't stop. Spatz is being forced all in. His Stalkers are across the map. He's trying to do what he can, but there's so much here to defend back at home. These Stalkers, they can't really do too much. They get 1 SCV, and only 1. Stalker's like, I didn't get paid enough to deal with this. No, with this Hellion, mate. Aye. The Stalkers do dive into the main base, but alas, there is a tank in position. A couple more probes do go down across the map as well. SimCity working a little bit against Clem, but he does fix that, he does rectify that by getting rid of that starport. Looks like a couple of add-ons are going to be going down, but even more Stalkers fall. A couple of too many slip-ups, a couple too many mistakes here from Spatz. At least he keeps his Observer alive. You know, that there is something to be said there. But Spatz is more or less transitioning into a 2-base all-in. He hasn't taken his gases at his natural. He barely has any economy whatsoever. He's going for charge. He's going for more gateways. And that economy is getting lower and lower. We are down to 26 probes. And I think we're working up towards, I want to say 6 gates. I think we have 6 gates in total. The Zealots, they dive into the main base. The first tank goes down. Nice juggling here with the Zealots. Spatz flaunting and flexing his micro a little bit. But alas, there's only so much you can do with 3 Zealots. Slow lots at that. Charge was not even done. Charge now going to finish up. Spatz going to try and pull apart the army of Clem. Going to try and get whatever value he can. Meanwhile, the job comes back here. Stop it, Papi. Stop. There's nothing left. There's nothing left, Clem. Leave him alone. Fully. GG gets called, and Clem will take game number 1 off of some harass that just got really out of hand really quickly. Oof. GG. Unfortunately, Spatz, again, like he was what seems to be hyper-focused and distracted by some of his own Adept harass. If you remember, when the Hellion initially was slipping into the natural, I believe the Stalker was queued up to focus down the Reaper, which it did. The Reaper died straight away. And then the Stalker was queued back, I want to say, to the wall at the natural base to plug up the hole. And ran past the Hellion, and he was focusing on the Adept harass, and things just escalated from there. The Hellion got 10 worker kills. The mine drops just kept coming back in, and Spatz was like maybe a little bit in his own head, trying to get damage done across the map. And I understand that, you know, he's up against Clem. He's up against an amazing player, and he knows that he's at like a skill disparity a little bit. Like, he knows that his opponent is a clear favorite, so the pressure is on him to do damage, and in a way he did, but damage to himself. Oh, GG. GG, well played. With that, Spatz, I'm impressed. We didn't get a break. There was very little time here between vetoes or between map picks. The mental of Spatz is strong. He shakes it off. It's fine. Game 1, it's whatever, Papi. You know, it's, oh, you're so good, Clem. Oh, you destroyed me. I'm calling it. The Team GP maneuver, Papi. Spatz making game 1 look a little bit shaky, but here in game 2, Spatz, he is coming in prepared. He is coming in ready, better than ever. I want to see what Spatz has to offer here on Babylon. Again, he has had plenty of time to prepare for this matchup, to prepare for this best of 2, and game 2 is typically the best opportunity here to create the 1-1, because Spatz, he's going to be coming into a map that he already had planned ahead of time. And again, he's been very unique with his own builds and with his own openers, so I'm excited. I'm ready, Spatz. Take it away. Take us on a journey. Strap me in. Oh, don't let me go. Uh, so, yeah, we'll see what he has in store for us here. Again, shout out to Spatz for not like requesting a break or anything like that, or at least I hope not. As again, the map has already been chosen, and oh boy, what can he whip out here in a PvT? Like, typically, I feel like there's a lot of variety available for Terran players. I guess there is some available as well for Protoss. It can be sometimes difficult to get away with some hidden tech just because a lot of the standard builds of Terran are heavily reliant on getting scouting information, but let's go. Because in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have the French Terran, Clem. And spawning in the bottom right, but also proxying across the map, because of course he is, because he was ready for this. For Berserker eSports, it's Spatz. Let's go, PAPI, let's go. That's what I'm saying. Now, it's not going to be crazy, unfortunately. It's not hyper committed. We're not seeing like a 4-leaf clover or anything like that at Proxy 4 gate, as much as I would appreciate that. But Spatz is making one gateway back at home, and he's got one gateway across the map, and this is designed to, again, kind of escalate a little bit with the initial gateway aggression with Zealots, with Stalkers, with Adepts, with the initial gateway units, and to wreak some havoc across the map, force a delay, maybe even get a cancel on a low ground CC. Speaking of, CC is thrown down, the Zealot is on the way, and the goal here for Spatz is going to be to delay the CC, and again, maybe even force a cancel as well. Oh boy. As the first Zealot is going to be racing across the map as we speak. This SCV Scout is going to confirm that as well. Is going to look to follow that Zealot along its path. We do see the Chrono on that Stalker. And we'll see what Spatz can pull off here. Again, Spatz clearly coming in very prepared with his opener at least. This isn't all in by any means. Just designed to get an economic lead for the Protoss. There we go. First Zealot is already making its way in. The Stalker is looking to divert its attention to this Reaper to try to keep that Zealot alive. A couple of shots already going to be going off. One shot away from going down, but the Reaper does manage to escape. The bunker is done. Ay. Oh. And with that, the Reaper does survive. The Zealot is going to be going down as well. And sure, we got a bit of a delay on this CC, but not for too much longer as even the Stalker goes down. I can't believe we've only lost 2 SCVs. That's crazy. That's actually insane. The efficiency here of Clem is out of this world, and I mean, the Adepts are going to be able to shade past this, and again, their goal here is to try to focus down that SCV. He will get that SCV once again. We'll delay that CC a little bit longer. Oh, but oh my god, the Adept even gets hunted down. The Stalker, oh god, it's going to go down. This is just, I don't think this is quite worth it here for Spatz. Like, sure, he killed 3 SCVs in total and a couple of units here and there. We even saw Spatz shake his head a little bit on camera. Very expensive losses, especially losing those Stalkers. 2 Stalkers, these Adepts as well. Rough start here for our German Protoss, but it's not over. You know, we do have our Twilight Council follow-up as well. It is a little bit delayed just because of the 2-gate opener. We do see the Reaper zooming across the map, gets another kill on another one of these probes, and is looking to get a full scout of the main. As we do have 3 gateways back at home for Spatz. Would have been 4 gates if this 1 gateway across the map was continued to be powered, but it will be shut down. So for the time being, 3 gates here for our Protoss player. 3-gate blink. I imagine we're going to be seeing a 4th, and we're going to be seeing some hyper aggression out of Spatz, but we'll see what he has in store for us if he does try to keep that aggression up, or if he instead is a little bit more defensive and goes for a faster 3rd. Keep our eyes peeled as we have the initial Cyclones going across the map. And I'll be honest, I don't think we really have much to deal with this. The Cyclones have been scouted. We have a couple of units back at home. We have 3 Stalkers available. Oh my god, as Clem is microing his heart out as well. The lock-ons are broken. Spatz gonna be able to focus down one of those Cyclones. Nice moves here out of Spatz to trigger the lock-on and to break it immediately. And from here, Spatz will be safe at home. Solid play out of him, going to be able to, again, force Clem back for the time being. I say force him back, but he does actually just rotate back around. He's going to be going back into the main. He wants to get damage done with these cyclones, and Spatz misses the drop. His army is out on the map, not at home, forces the recall. And Clem gets 2 probes almost for free. Oh, it does have to be careful. Oh my god. One shot! Up. One shot away from going down, but Clem, somehow he threads the needle. Oh. He sucks it in, squeezes past, squeezes in, and is able to get out of there with that medevac. Back at home, Clem's setting up for his, I believe I want to say a 2-on-1 setup. It does have stim on the way, combat shields +1 as well. Just a solid, 2-base production setup here from Clem. And once those upgrades kick in, I'm sure he's going to be zooming across the map to try and punish the Protoss. The Stalkers for the time being, Blink is done. Bear that in mind. We're going to be pushing on forward here to chip away at the bunker, but we don't really have enough DPS to overpower and overwhelm before that tank gets too many shots in. So Spatz is forced back, and I believe we did stay on 3 gates, so we are going for that 3rd base. We have a 4th and 5th gate on the way behind this. Actually, we had a 4th gateway at the natural. Never mind. But for the most part, we are just going to be trying to transition. The goal here from Spatz, as we do have that 3-1-1 even set up. The goal here for Spatz is going to be for map control, just keeping Clem back at home as best he can. Are we going to see a ninja? No shot. No way. We have seen Spatz go for ninja bases before. It has happened. I just setting a proxy panel location. Okay, never mind. I wouldn't have been opposed to maybe the 3rd base being a ninja base or something. Again, Spatz is always a lot of fun to watch and can sometimes be go out of left field or something like that. But for the time being, Stalkers are being forced back. Clem pushing out across now. He is being slowed down a little bit just by being chipped away at by these Blink Stalkers. But we do see Clem is not slowing down. Stim, combat shields are done. +1 should finish up in the middle of this fight. Concussive Shell even finishing up as well. God, that's a decent amount of Marauders. And this timing is brutal because we need a couple more seconds for charge to finish. It's not done yet. Without it, Spatz cannot break this. He's forced to just be zoned away from his own natural base. Zealots are coming in from behind. That tank was weakened from earlier. It will go down. And it looks like with the Zealot reinforcements, we can force this back. The stutter stepping is pretty damn good actually from Clem. So he's actually going to shave off a lot of these gateway units. And even though initially this was being forced back, Clem is fighting back and he can clean this up. Oh my god. Every single Zealot does go down. I think there are only 3 Stalkers remaining as well, barely surviving. Clem is rallying everything across the map, and he wants to end the game. He wants to be done with it. And it looks like he will. As the mine shots are going to be going off, and the Zealots get cleaned up instantly. The Stalkers there. Blink is on cooldown. Clem can just keep on pushing. We have another wave of Zealots rushing on forward. We have an overcharge available as well if we do fight within shield battery range. Speaking of, there is that overcharge. But Clem doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to slow down. Widowmine shot is going to be triggered, but now he can just run in. Yeah. I love it. His backside is covered by these Widowmines as well. The Zealots try to come in, but GG gets called, and Clem will take the series 2-0. GG. Again, as to be expected overall, Clem is coming in as the clear favorite, of course. He is the best Terran in Europe, let's be real here. So it was going to be an uphill battle for Spatz, but shout out to Spatz again. He did do his best. Game 1 was a little bit shaky, let's be honest. Game 1 was quite difficult. But Game 2, a little bit more back and forth. Spatz, he did try to have his moments there, and hope he doesn't take the loss too hard. Just because, again, to put things into perspective, he was up against Clem. It's okay, but it's okay. GG. Well played, as Team Liquid take a solid 2-0 lead here against Berserker eSports. But now we're moving on to game number 2. And game number 2, I'm excited for. I am ready for game 2 because we're going to be featuring SKillous going up against DIMAGA. And SKillous is one of the best Protoss in Europe as well. I wouldn't say number 1 like how Clem is for Terran, but when it comes to European Protosses, You got Max Pax and Showtime as the top 2. And I would say that SKillous is there as number 3. SKillous has been on the rise. He's been in form. He's been getting some really solid results. He's a terrifying player to go up against. But he's up against the DIMAGA. And DIMAGA, we've been seeing so much of him recently. We've been seeing some upsets from him as well. Like, he is just such an aggressive player. A little bit more, I almost want to say one note, or a little bit more predictable, sure, with his play style. But that doesn't mean that he's not a terrifying opponent, regardless. You know, I do think that he can punch up, and I do want to, I'm not going to say he's a favorite by any means, but I think the chances of him taking games off of SKillous is much higher than that of Spatz versus Clem, for example. So I want to believe here in the DIMAGA. You know, he's been performing quite well already in WTL, and he's becoming a very reliable player for Berserker eSports to take maps, which is really cool to see. You know, he's kind of making more of a name for himself. I think more people are taking notice as well of DIMAGA. I want to quickly just double check some of these results here. If you recall, DIMAGA, he almost took a game off of Maru. He was winning game 1 versus Maru last week, and it was heartbreaking to see the game slip through his fingers, but he was looking really good. He was looking so good against Maru. Of course, that was a different matchup. That was a ZVT. But looking at some of these other matches here, just quickly double checking. I want to say, yeah, DIMAGA, he went 1-1 against Nice a couple of weeks ago. And we also saw, we've been seeing a lot of DIMAGA, at least in things like Sparkling Tuna Cup as well, in some of these online tournaments. And yeah, I want to believe. I want to believe in our boy. We'll see, of course. As we are getting ready to jump into our next best of 2. SKillous going to be rocking a solid C. Should he be more than a C? I would say yes, but at the same time, that's a really nice score. Yeah. Shout out to SKillous. DIMAGA ranks quite a little bit lower here, and I don't blame them. Again, Berserker eSports, they have been overall as a team struggling a little bit more in WTL at the bottom of the standings, but you know, they're still able to take maps here and there in these series, and they can still perform quite well for themselves. So we'll see how things turn out, especially on Royal Blood. So I guess talking a little bit about our Zerg player, we'll get into that, because spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood for Team Liquid, it is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner for Royal Blood, for Berserker eSports, it is DIMAGA. Here we go, Papi, here we go. DIMAGA, the veteran himself, he has seen it all. He's been there for the Wings of Liberty. He's been there for the heart of the Swarm, and also for the Legacy of the Void. Oh boy, he's been a pro gamer for quite a long time, and it's great to see him continuing to be active and excelling as well, going toe-to-toe with some of these more younger players. And you know, no disrespect, of course, but DIMAGA is one of the older active players in the scene. But again, it's great to see him here competing amongst the best of the best. And meanwhile, as we get into this, massive shout out to all the sponsors. Who are the sponsors? Doyu, Hypergriff, TGI Fridays, Taido, and Rio de Janeiro. Oh, it's, again, much love here. Without these beautiful sponsors, WTL would not be a thing, or the prize pool wouldn't be as large as it is, and the teams wouldn't take it as seriously as they do either. So, yeah, massive shout out to all those sponsors. Exclamation mark Funada, Hoja, because Hoja was the sponsor last season and we love them. Unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing them. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. As we are just getting into the swing of things. Hatchgas pool from DIMAGA. He's forced to take the unnatural natural. Nothing too crazy. You know, it's as to be expected in this matchup in current era of StarCraft. So we're just going to be easing our way into the early game, into the openers. Now, I don't really expect to see anything too crazy out of SKillous. Wouldn't be shocked to see a Stargate opener. Would be surprising if we do have something more aggressive like a Twilight Council opener. And I do think that more aggressive openers are good against players like DIMAGA. I typically say this about like Miyamika or Eric. These players that thrive when your opponent is playing standard. And I want to say that DIMAGA is the same. I think DIMAGA, he thrives in the meta. He thrives when his opponent is playing triple Oracle into a third base into +1 Blink Stalkers. That's what DIMAGA wants. He doesn't want this. And what this is a Twilight Council opener. Oh. Oh boy, if we could see the main base, then we would be able to see if it is going to be a Glaive Adept opener, which I imagine is going to be the case here for SKillous. Robo is thrown down as we speak. If workers are taken out of gas, then it could be Glaives. Otherwise, it could be a DT opener as well. But for the time being, we are a little bit in the dark. It looks like a DT opener, actually, but we'll see. We'll see. As the Overlord is being swatted away by this Stalker as we speak. SKillous just waiting for a little bit more gas, and there it is. This is going to be Glaives in the end. And this is why I worry a little bit for DIMAGA. So DIMAGA thrives in the mid game. If you're maybe unfamiliar with him, and if you haven't seen his ZVPs in the past, DIMAGA, he thrives off of a low drone counts, but when I say a low drone count, I mean like 3 base saturation. 3 base saturated Zerg player on 4 bases, massing Ling, Roach, Ravager, just like super max with this insane army, and going for these committed pushes, and over time whittling away and breaking the Protoss. But we're not going to get there yet, because it is a Twilight Council opener, because we do have Glaives on the way, because this is going to hit hard, it's going to hit fast, and DIMAGA is taking... What? Oh, this is so bad. DIMAGA is taking his 3rd base at his 4th base location, which means he doesn't have any creep connecting his bases because he didn't take the center hatchery. Which means that these Glaive Adepts are going to have an easier time rotating between mineral lines, which means that DIMAGA is in a lot of trouble. Thankfully, we do have Lings on the way. We got 22 Lings on the way, so DIMAGA is cutting workers quite nicely here at 39. He doesn't have a Roach Warren, so he doesn't have the most efficient tech to deal with this. And Lings are going to have a hard time trading depending on the positioning, so DIMAGA has to be very careful here. Here we go. The Adepts already trading well against these Lings, and as I say that, every Ling goes down. Yeah. Oh my god, but the target find, the Queens come in from behind, and the Prism goes down. Suddenly, DIMAGA has some breathing room. He does lose a lot of drones. This is a lot of worker damage already. 6 drones do go down, but these are all the Adepts that DIMAGA has to worry about for the time being. Like, he has time to respond because of the dead Prism. Still took a lot of losses, though. Is the problem. But here we go. Lings, they come in for a full surround. The Adepts will get cleaned up, and DIMAGA can focus on droning. Things were looking quite scary, but again, because of those lovely Queens coming in from behind, the positioning, the target fire, DIMAGA survives, but, oh god. Can he hold on against the counter-offensive, because more Adepts are being shaded across the map? Oh, they are trading so efficiently against these Lings. So many Lings are going down, and I'm sure we're going to get a kill count after this. Oh, boy. Yeah, there it is. 59 Lings here. Dead for DIMAGA. His drone count is struggling as well, because he lost those 6 drones earlier. The Prism has been remade. Roaches are finally coming out, but of course these Roaches are late. Damage has already been done, and the Roach count is still relatively low, so SKillous doesn't have to worry too much about them. Oh boy. As more Lings are falling left and right, the Roaches, oh god, exposed as well. As the Adepts come into the shade, they dive into the main base. And even though they're not killing drones, this is still a lot of economic damage. Oh boy. These bases are so spread apart as well. Like, the Queens are having a hard time rotating the Roaches as well. Eventually this will be cleaned up. But, oh my god, SKillous is just not letting him breathe. Blink is done. We have Stalkers on the front lines. SKillous, he just wants to keep on pushing. As, of course, we just focus once again on the 83 Lings dying already. Ooh, a couple of Overlords going to get picked off as well. The Stalkers have been revealed. DIMAGA trying to muster up an army, and I want to believe that he can hold on, but Queen is going to go down. Lings are following the shade, which we actually commit to, so the Adepts do get cleaned up. Oh god, but we have more Adepts here on the right-hand side, and oh no! 4, 5, 6 drones are going to be falling. And again, this is too much economic damage. We can see SKillous, he's up almost 20 workers compared to DIMAGA. The aggression does not stop. DIMAGA's holding on. He's holding on for dear life right now. He's got a mass amount of links on the way. So he's going to survive. But is he really living? He's trying to build as many roaches as possible. He's morphing in another wave of Ravagers as well. Behind the SKillous is getting a 4th base. Oh boy, charge is on the way. We've already got a Forge. We're getting a 2nd Forge plus 1 armor in production here for our Protoss player. As again, he's just not giving DIMAGA an inch. Not at all. Now that charge is done, we're going to be able to push on forward here. The Lings evaporate. The Ravagers are looking insanely exposed. And with these blinks, I mean, we're even going to be taking a couple of the bios to the face. It doesn't even matter at this point. We can focus on the Ravagers. The Ravagers are units that cannot be replaced, or we're going to have a hard time replacing them. Expensive losses here for DIMAGA as this army crumbles. GG gets called, and SKillous will take game number 1. GG. Again, I do think this is a really smart way to play against DIMAGA. I think early game aggression and just snowballing is what you want to do. You don't want DIMAGA to play out his game. You don't want him to get 3-base saturation. You don't want him to get into, you know, a solid Roach or Ling Roach Ravager composition. No one wants that. And yeah, we saw DIMAGA struggle a little bit. Again, I'm pretty sure a lot of that also did kind of come down to his kind of base setup as well, which was quite odd for him to avoid his natural the way that he did. It's very interesting. Crazy. Like, it hurts because it's a longer path for workers to traverse when it comes to when you pull the workers away to another mineral line to protect them from the adepts. It's just longer travel time, more or less mining time as well. The queens that are being produced, I mean, they're not close to each other, which means they have to rotate back and forth. It takes longer to keep up and to reinforce. Same with units in general. So yeah, an unfortunate situation for DIMAGA. He had no idea what was really happening. He didn't know that it was Glaive Adepts until it was already in his face. That's why we saw the Roach Warren so delayed, so heavily delayed. Oh. And now we're looking to get into game number 2, and this makes plenty of sense. DIMAGA's map of choice is going to be Ancient Cistern, a much larger map. We have seen him take down Protoss players on Ancient before. This is where he thrives. This is where he almost brought down Maru, if you recall, last week. This is where he is at his strongest, his home field advantage. Oh boy, can he fight back? Can he put a point on the board for Berserker eSports? I want to believe. But we'll see as we're going to be loading on in. And in the top right-hand corner for Team Liquid, it is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner for Berserker eSports, we have DIMAGA. The question we all want answered. Can DIMAGA play some StarCraft? Oh. Or if we do have another Twilight Council opener, can he recognize what's going to be going on, and can he be able to react in time as well? You know, a major portion, as you can imagine, of ZVP is scouting, is trying to figure out what the Protoss is up to, because for all DIMAGA knows, SKillous could have been going for a Glaive Adepts, could have been 4-gate, could have been 6-gate, could have been a DT opener, could have been a charge lot all in. DIMAGA was in the dark. He had no idea what was happening. No idea what was going on. Oh. So we'll see if he can bring it back. Until such a time, hatch gas pool once again. DIMAGA forced to take the unnatural natural. Again, what we expect to be seeing here in this matchup. It's that natural bases for Zerg. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. Unless you're going for a 15 hatch. Then you're allowed. But DIMAGA apparently is not a connoisseur of Eric. Unfortunately, feels bad, man. Feels bad that he hasn't quite taken that up. Unlike some of the other players out there, shout out to both Raynor and Cyril as they have both embraced the 15 hatch openers here in ZVP. We were able to see that earlier this week as well. So feels good, man. Feels good. With it, of course, it does mean that you can actually get your hatchery on location that much faster as well. But before that happens, we're just kind of getting into the swing of things. You know, we've got our queens on the way. We're droning up as well, as to be expected. I'm sure this time DIMAGA will get his third base at his natural location. I'm sure. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And SKillous is going for a standard Stargate opener. Let's go, PAPI. Let's go. Stargate here from SKillous should be into Oracle play. Should be into what DIMAGA is a little bit more used to. But just because we have a Stargate doesn't mean it's going to be standard play, to be fair. We have been seeing, even earlier today, actually, we saw it from Takanashi, aka Moku, in Grand Platypus Open. We have seen a lot of players playing around and really enjoying that Stargate opener into Oracle, into Glaive Adepts without a Forge. It has been making the rounds, and it can be something that SKillous whips out here once again. It's a great way to catch a Zerg player being a little bit too greedy and focusing on their economy too much after scouting a Stargate opener. So we'll see if that's going to be the case, as for the time being, Adepts are going to be threading a shade in towards that third base, and they will commit to the shade, but the Lings have arrived. DIMAGA does pull away at the last second, and no economic damage done. Solid reactions here out of DIMAGA. I'm a little bit concerned, though. I mean, we do have 2 queens here at the third base, which is good enough to deal with some of these oracles. I believe we should have 2 queens on the main base as well. No spores have been thrown down yet, but you don't really need a spore against 1 oracle. Like, the queens should be enough to fend this off for now. Solid shot on that. Oh, as SKillous actually doesn't care. He takes a lot of shots to the face, and this oracle is a couple of hits away from going down, but he does get 2 drones and a tumor as well. Very nicely done. He's going to be backing off, looking to regenerate those shields and meet up with that second Oracle. And this is when we should be getting some spores. Meanwhile, Lings go for a bit of a counterattack. They do get a kill on one of those probes. Nicely done. Queens are getting in position, but yeah, we're cutting corners here. DIMAGA, he really wants to avoid throwing down spores. He wants to defend with pure Queen, which you can do as long as you're able to keep up with the movement of the Oracles. And so far, so good. 3 queens are here at the third base. They do fend off the oracles for now. Spores are on the way. I believe that's a spore either in the main or at the natural base. Oh, no shield battery. So these 2 adepts are going to be going down. Very nice pickups here from DIMAGA. Likewise, the oracles tried to dip into the third base once again. And once again, DIMAGA is there with those queens. He does force them back. Again, nice positioning so far from DIMAGA. He should have eyes on the oracles as they rotate towards the main base, and queens should be looking to keep up. And yep, as I say that, there we go. The queens are there. Spore is in the natural. Despite that, 3 more drones go down. So a bit of damage being done here to DIMAGA. He does trap those oracles, but they will recall. And behind this, it's not glaives. Oh, fala galera, papi. Let's go. It is going to be that Twilight Council into a Forge. We have +1 and Blink on the way. It is standard play coming out from SKillous. He's been attempting to harass him. He's killed 5 drones so far, which is good. Don't get me wrong. But nothing amazing. You know, nothing too impactful. What's important, though, is that SKillous kept those oracles alive. So even though he hasn't done an insane amount of economic damage, the threat is always there, and the oracles are still alive to support the Stalker army with their pulsar beams and with their stasis traps. Ideally, you want to throw down your stasis traps behind the army to protect them against run-bys and, you know, link pushes, or we can, of course, save the energy for things like this, Revelations. As that creep is being cleaned up here, just denying more scouting information and map presence from DIMAGA. Oh, he even gets supply blocked a little bit here as well. Not the best time for that, as we have a massive link counterattack headed towards the third base of SKillous. His Stalker's a little bit out of position, but what is at home to defend? We should have a shield battery. We should have some units. The shield battery does get surrounded. The boys are being pulled as well. This is getting a little bit dangerous. A lot of damage can be done. Stalkers will go down. The mineral line is under threat. The oracles are racing back home. And only 3 probes will go down. that could have been a lot worse. But this does give DIMAGA some breathing room, and he's made it! We were talking about this. This is what I wanted out of game 1. DIMAGA here survived long enough to get to that 60 worker count. That's all he needs. 60 drones, PAPI. We can go up to 66. You know, we can work up a little bit more, and then we go 2 more drones are on the way. But DIMAGA has made it here into his comfort zone. As long as that number has a 6 in front of it, he's a happy man. And now we can focus on Ling production, on Roach production. We can focus on our army and go toe-to-toe with the likes of SKillous. SKillous is taking up in a really interesting direction, though. He's going Blink Stalker into Charge Lot, into Archon and Storm, so he's not going to be going for that more Colossus heavy composition that we've been seeing pop up from time to time. Is going to be relying on a more Gateway heavy composition instead. Less so Robo, which can work quite well. You know, these storms are going to be very impactful in these next couple of engagements. How good are they going to be as, oh, the Revelation does tag the army. SKillous, he sees DIMAGA racing across the map. He knows, PAPI, he knows. A couple of Stalkers are going to be going down. High Templar in the back line. They are slowly gathering up that energy. Do they have enough energy for these banelings? Up! They do. The storms will connect. They will land. And a lot of banelings already do go down. But they get into the mineral line. But not enough. Only 9 probes go down. And that was a lot of banelings. Oof. Again, Storm did finish in time. The High Templar were ready for this. And DIMAGA is forced back. But you know what? That was merely the first wave. But the first is usually the scariest. So SKillous, he's in a pretty good position after that, to be honest. Like, those High Templar, they're going to be gathering up energy for even more storms. It's going to be that much more difficult for DIMAGA to really break that position. He is remaxing or rebuilding his Lingbane Roach Ravager, but this position is just getting more and more fortified. Oh. Yeah, more Lings going to be going down. Oh, these morphing and banelings go down as well. Do have a bit of a Zealot run back here on the left-hand side of the map, but the Roaches are able to respond in time. Zealots don't really do too much damage, but they do force DIMAGA back home. Oh, as one Oracle goes down, a bit of an overextension out of SKillous. He's going to be threatening this 5th hatchery of DIMAGA, but he's got to be careful not to be caught out as, oh my god, a 2nd Oracle goes down. SKillous being a little bit too cavalier with his oracles, to be honest, as they are going to be falling. We do have a bit of a Ling run by. Does get eyes on the would-be 4th base of SKillous. Oh my god, the aggression just doesn't stop. We've got Zealots on the left-hand side. We've got Stalkers on the right. DIMAGA, can he split up his army to defend? Oh, as drones are falling, and this is difficult because we don't really have that many drones to begin with. We can't be losing too many of these workers. Here we go. We do see DIMAGA going to be trying to come in from behind. Storms will be stopping those banelings in their tracks. They do bring them down. The Zealot run by Zaha. Once again, headed towards the natural base this time. And more Roaches are forced back. The Queen goes down as well. DIMAGA has just been on the back foot. Forced to defend for the past couple of minutes. But do you see what I see? I see 69 drones. Oh, let's go. The perfect amount of workers here for DIMAGA. Is looking to push out. Has a lot of banelings available to him. Is relatively close to maxing out as well. Has that supply lead. Banelings are going to be rolling on in, but storms are here to stop said banelings. A decent connections nonetheless. They do take down a lot of those morphing and stalkers. But once again, not able to hit the juicy core of that mineral line. More storms being wasted, but the banelings, they get in! 8 more workers do go down, and I don't believe we have a storm remaining. The Archons are doing a great job at body blocking, and these aren't the best baneling connections out of DIMAGA. Forced to connect with Archons more than anything. And hey, they do get 2 of them, but SKillous does hold. He's looking to push out, looking to go for his own counterattack. Again, we have 4 High Templar behind this. I believe every High Templar has a storm available. That's 4 storms here for SKillous, but we do have a surround! Up! Oh, and here we go. We're coming in from behind. The Banelings do find some connections, but the High Templar, they survive. They get even more storms off. DIMAGA trying to get a surround on this army. Is it going to be enough? The Queens are coming in. They have some clutch transfuses. With the Ling reinforcements, it looks like DIMAGA will swallow up this army. Just barely. It was a costly fight, though. It did take a lot out of him, and SKillous, he doesn't want to slow down. He doesn't want to stop. Oh, God, a lot of roaches are falling to these zealots. It looks like SKillous is being forced back. He does have a solid economy behind this, but it's going to take a while to rebuild those Archons and regather energy on those High Templar. DIMAGA, he's got some momentum. There we go. The cannon is going to be going down. He's going to try and dive on top of the shield battery as well. Oh, God, the Archon is just tanking so many hits, but eventually it will go down. The boys are being pulled. We can afford to lose workers. SKillous does have a massive worker lead. And he's able to pull off this run by as well. DIMAGA. DIMAGA being forced back once again. Zealot run by keeping him at home. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to push out PAPI. He wants to go. And those High Templar have been morphed in. As time goes on, they're going to have storms. There was a window. There was a window where there were no storms available, and that's the window that DIMAGA could have exploited, but alas, it is closing. It is closing. Do you have a Ling Bane run by being set up on the left-hand side of the map? We have the main army rotating over towards the right. High Templar everywhere. DIMAGA is going to try and distract him. We do force out one of those storms, but we have 2 more left, I believe. There he is. Those 2 storms are used. Bailey's going to be rolling in once again into that mineral. At the same time, he's trying to distract SKillous. Does he see? He does. He does pull away his workers in time. But is it going to be enough? The Bailey's are rolling on forward, and no, they do not catch up. A nice move out of DIMAGA, but he wasn't able to really get too much damage done. Yo, he's going for the base. He's going for the Nexus. And he gets the 4th. Okay. He doesn't get the workers, but he gets the base itself. So SKillous, his own economy isn't looking too hot. He did spend a lot of storms there. DIMAGA getting ready for, what is this, wave 5? Is anyone keeping track? How many rounds have we had? A second cancel on that 4th base. DIMAGA still at that juicy spot of 66 drones. Mate, it's all you need, Bobby. It's all you need. Remaxing here on, or rebuilding his Ling Bane Roach Ravage army. He's going to be careful here with how he rolls on forward because of those storms. Oh, this is a risk, and a massive storm does connect on the Ling Bane. A couple of Baileys are rolling into that mineral line, though, and once again, they do find the connections. But DIMAGA is maybe losing too much. He's going to trigger a counterattack. We have Immortals now joining the fray. Immortals, Archon, Stalkers. Oh, DIMAGA is going to be losing a lot here in the retreat. Can he rebuild his army in time? A Ling counterattack is going to be denying the 4th base. Oh, he should be able to force a cancel. Oh, that was a kill, not a cancel. SKillous is being pulled apart. He's making some mistakes here and there. Uh-oh. 400 minerals down the drain. DIMAGA, the ball is in his court. He survives the counterattack. SKillous backed off. We're getting a gas geyser as well. SKillous, he's running out of money. He's running out of resources here. Meanwhile, DIMAGA, even though he had, like, it's one of those things where even though he hasn't been droning, because he's been expanding, his saturation has always been solid. Like, he just rotates his workers over, you know? He's always mining efficiently. SKillous, not so much. Once again, DIMAGA setting up the 1-2 punch. Main army on the right-hand side. Ling Bane run by on the left. He has to be careful, though. SKillous has also split up his army. Oh, we don't want to commit. Oh, no. Oh, that's another kill in the Nexus. Another 400 minerals down the drain. Oh, yeah. As we do see DIMAGA overextending a little bit. He's trying to get into that mineral line. The Bailings are rolling on forward. He gets us around on one of those Immortals. but he won't get the second. Oh, and he has to get the hell out of here. But he does get 18 probes. The damage is slowly adding up, mate. He's slowly adding up. SKillous, SKillous is being like he's being forced to commit. He does have a lot of High Templar. He does have a lot of Storms. DIMAGA, all he has to do is survive. He has to hold on, Papi. He has to hold. Can he do it? So the Banelings, they do detonate there with those High Templar. There are only 3 High Templar remaining, and only one of them has energy. And there it is. That is the final storm of the game, and that just may be it here. He shakes his head. GG gets called, and DIMAGA fights back. He takes game 2 against SKillous. Oh! A massive exhale there out of DIMAGA. He was on a knife's edge. Never joined up more than 69 because that is the number you want to be going for. That's all you need, Papi. That's all you need. As he fights back for Berserker eSports. GG. GG. Let's go.
As a quick note, today is DIMAGA's birthday.
Oh, true, true. I don't know if you could hear that, but Kuro from production just let us know today is DIMAGA's birthday. The birthday boy himself puts a point on the board. Give him some love. Give him some support. You know what? Let's quickly post that. I did remember seeing that. It's in the chat. It's in the chat. It's on Twitter. Retweet. Give him some love. GG, Papi. GG. Ay. Beautiful, Papi. Beautiful. DIMAGA, you know, he may be getting 1 year older today, but he is young in our hearts. He's young here in StarCraft. Taking games off of SKillous, you know, just like that. Doesn't even matter. You know, too easy, Papi. Too easy. But GG, well done, well done. I mean, SKillous, there were a couple of moments where it did feel like DIMAGA was overextending. It did feel like there were a couple of moments where he was taking maybe 1 too many efficient storms to the face, but every single time he was like barely making it worth it. Like he was getting like 8 to 9 probes. Every now and then he was getting a couple more workers, to be fair. And I imagine most likely what was really keeping him in that game, what was giving him the edge, was the kills on that 4th base. He killed that base, I want to say 3 or 4 times. He killed it once when it was done, and then as it was being built, I believe he killed it 2 more times. On top of that, the constant cancels as well. So he was just forcing SKillous to burn money before our eyes. Oh, GG. GG, well played. I see some people in the chat. All right, and here we go. We're loading on in, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan for Team Liquid, it is Mana. And in the top left-hand corner for Berserker eSports, it is Papi, the man of the hour. For those of you who may not be familiar with Papi, the Polish Protoss player, you should be, because I talk about him all the time. I bring him up all the time, Papi. Even then, I can't. Look, the word has lost all meaning when casting him. But it is going to be a battle between the Polish Protosses. Quite a lot of Protoss players, of course, in Poland. But amongst them, amongst Geralt, Ziomek, Christianer, Art, Mana is the best of them. You know, he does stand strong amongst the players in Poland. He's been around for a very long time, is a veteran of the esports scene in general. And, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mountain to overcome here for Papi. You know, I don't like he does have a good chance. It is a PvP, and PvPs can be very wild, very unpredictable, but Mana is still coming in as the favorite. But you know what, Papi, I'm sure he's feeling pretty good about himself because it's a mirror matchup, because upsets can happen, and because DIMAGA put a point on the board. You know, DIMAGA, he is making this comeback, this run of reality. You know, the first step has been taken. Berserker eSports, they put a point on the board. Can they get another? I'm sure they can. I'm sure they can. As for the time being, we have 2 gate openers all around for both Papi and Mana. To be expected, we are on Gressvan. There is no ramp leading up into the natural, so there is no gate expand play, but Mana is looking to be the aggressor series, at least in game number 1. He's going for the proxy robo. Oof. Oh boy. hyper aggression coming out from Mana is to be a one base all in. PAPI, what is... Oh, he's setting up for an expand. I am concerned. I am very concerned here for our Polish Protoss player. Which one? You can hazard a guess. As PAPI back at home, just going for a 2-gate opener, nothing too crazy. The stutter step micro from this lovely sentry does take down a probe. You do have the probe in the main base of PAPI as well, getting shut down. But PAPI is none the wiser. He's banking up resources. He goes for the Nexus. He's going for a 2-gate opener into an expand. Mana isn't expanding anytime soon. And even though PAPI went for a sentry, the hallucinations haven't come across the proxy. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's coming his way. And he may not know until it's too late. So Mana, he's got his proxy robo for Immortal production. Should be going into, I imagine, double Immortal into Prism, or maybe Immortal and then Prism. Here we go, PAPI. It looks like he has recognized that something is wrong. He scouts with his Adept. He sees the lack of natural. He responds with a robo back at home. He has a shield battery on the way as well. He knows that something is wrong. He doesn't know what, but there is aggression coming his way. With that defensive robo, he will be able to start his own Immortal production, which will be quite crucial. He has 2 shield batteries now on the way. Again, he has fully recognized an all-in is coming, but can he defend? Just because he knows what's coming doesn't mean that he can stop it. Here we go. We've got a decent defensive setup here. We've got sentries for force fields. We've got stalkers for their added DPS. Mana waiting a little bit longer for that Prism, and he can bypass those shield batteries and go straight into the main. Bearing in mind, there is no vision here. And with this, he's actually going to go straight for the Mineral Lion. I'm a little bit surprised. Okay. Oh, he's going to try and focus down that pylon as well, but it looks like he won't be able to. The army here of PAPI is just a little bit too great. Does force Mana out at the same time. He's got a couple of units knocking down the front door. No, 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 no! Oh! A little bit of mispathing, and the Prism will barely survive, but Mike... No, no! Okay. We're okay. The Prism survives. The Immortals are alive as well. We had a force field to slow things down, but no, the Prism is going to go down. Mana overextends. He loses the Immortal, and that is it. We can see him grit his teeth on the camera. Oh, my God. Massive blunder there from Mana. Just like that, I believe it may just be over. Mana is going to attempt to transition, and by that, I'm not saying he's going to try and, get out of this economically. He throws down a bait. He's going to get into disruptors. We can see him laughing right now on the camera as well. He's getting into a bay. He's going to try to get into disruptors. But that is a Hail Mary play if I've ever seen one. Oh, boy. Can he live long enough to get into that disruptor production? That's the question. I mean, disruptors, they can make some magic happen. We have all seen... we've all seen Protoss players at like a 30 supply deficit come back with disruptors. It's happened before. It can happen again. As long as we take care of our Prism. Oh, no. And PAPI, he's pushing out. He's looking to try and depower the robo. He's not going to turn around. Mana needed this army to turn around. He needed PAPI to be back at home. The robo's depowered. The disruptor is not going to come out. I mean, sure, we're killing pros, so that doesn't matter. Like, PAPI's on 2-base economy. Mana just doing what he can. He's throwing down 2 robos back at home. Oh my God. I mean, what else can we do? So with 2 robos, we can get into double disruptor production, which, hey, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again, right? 2 disruptors, they are better than 1. This is just math. This is just how the world works. Oh. As a pylon is going to be going down, I believe that is going to be depowering the robo of PAPI. He gets 14 probe kills. I shouldn't understate how much economic damage Mana has been doing. Like, he's been putting in some serious work into this Immortal micro. Like, he is tryharding his heart out. he refuses to die. And his 2 disruptors are on the way. I believe still unscattered by PAPI. Without Blink, like, his army is very vulnerable to Purification Novas. Mana's still in this. He is still in this. He had a really rough start. But he is not giving up. He has a pretty comparable army. With disruptors, I think, yeah, Mana has a better army. He straight up does. He killed 14 probes earlier, so there is no economic advantage for PAPI. He spots the army. Now every Nova counts. He has to be very careful. He's trying to bypass the army. He's trying to come in from behind. Up! Oh my god, thank god there's no blink. The force shields are thrown down. The Novas are going off! Ooh, and they will. One of them will connect, but only one. And now we're committing to the fight. Force fields are thrown down one after the other. How good is the Prism Micro? It looks like it's going to be too much. GG gets called. And Mana fights back tooth and nail. Look at his reaction. He's like, ooh. Oh my god. Oh, Mana somehow, some way pulled it off. He takes game 1 against PAPI, but that was a close one. That was a doozy, mate. Ay. GG, well played. Mana able to just squeeze water out of a rock and puts game 1 on the board. Takes game 1. Was a close one though. That was brutal. Jesus. Where did he get that scar from? Oh. From PvP, PAPI. From the Polish PvPs. They're brutal, mate. They are terrifying. And with that, we're going to be getting into game number 2. I just really liked Mana's reaction. He just like the biggest exhale you can imagine. Just the biggest sigh of relief. Oh my god, that was so tense for him. And yeah, now we're going to be getting into game 2. It is going to be PAPI's map of choice, and it is going to be Ancient Cistern. Ancient Cistern, a larger map. See the chat catching up. And in the bottom left-hand corner, for Team Liquid, it is Mana. His opponent in the top right for Berserker eSports, it is PAPI. Let's go, PAPI. Let's go. If you put VIP in your name, does that make you important? That is not what it stands for. Fun fact, that is not what it stands for. Some people have been able to guess it. There are some like-minded individuals in the world that have come across the stream before and they have recognized what it's for. Oh. But alas, we're here getting into game number 2. After a really intense game 1, Mana going for the 1-base all-in, committing to the 1-base all-in, and even though he lost his Prism, and even though he lost a lot of units early on, he did not give up. He went into some Immortal drop play, did an insane job killing workers, keeping the army busy, depowering the Robo of PAPI as well. And even though he lost his Proxy Robo location, even though he was delayed disruptors, he did very quickly transition into double Robo play, into double disruptor production. And I'm curious if Mana's if he's been in that position before. Like, has he? I imagine he has, right? Like, I imagine he wasn't like going off the cuff. You know, I'm sure in the mass amount of PvPs that he has played on the ladder, he has, you know, had to come back from worse. And yeah, that was really well done. Really well done by our Polish Protoss player. But can he replicate that success as we're getting into game 2? Once again, 2 gate openers all around. No one is going for a greedy max packs of a gate expand on a map that doesn't have a ramp at the natural, so no one's acting crazy. And Mana's going to be a little bit more sensible here. He's going to be going into a 2 Stalker opener, setting up for a natural as well for an expansion. Meanwhile, his opponent, PAPI, going to be more aggressive, and I appreciate that. He's going to be going for a double Adept opener instead. With his Adepts, he's hoping to try and bypass the Stalkers, get past the army, get across the map, and ideally get into a mineral line. As it's not just 2 Adepts, he's got 2 more behind it. So a 4 Adept opener, and I wouldn't be surprised if PAPI goes up to 6 Adepts from here. Meanwhile, oh, hello, Mana. Oh, Mana's not expanding. Mana is not expanding, is pushing out with his first 2 Stalkers. He does scout the initial Adepts here of his opponent. He's fully aware, and 2 Stalkers will overpower and overcome 2 Adepts, but not so much 4. So, Mana has he overextended the Adepts. They want the Shade, they want the Stalkers. And they are going to be able to chase Mana back. Meanwhile, back at home, Mana did set up a proxy pylon, and he is throwing down a proxy gateway. But he's expanding behind it, you know, so he's going into 3-gate aggression, not an all-in, and focusing on his economy in the back line. Meanwhile, because of the aggression from Mana, he's been able to keep these Adepts at bay for the time being, but now we're up to 6 Adepts, and 6 Adepts are enough to DPS down a shield battery or a pylon, so even if Mana throws down a wall at his ramp, then these Adepts, they can bypass that wall. They can push through. So Mana has to take that very seriously. As, 2 Adepts slip into the main base of PAPI as he was a little bit too distracted with his own aggressive play. And he's going to be losing a couple, I believe he may be losing a sentry. He does lose 3 of these probes as well. Nice force field, does trap those Adepts, but he forces PAPI to stay at home. He forces the Adepts to turn back around, and again, going into 6 Adepts like this, like, they're supposed to be aggressive. You're supposed to be doing economic damage across the map. Every second that goes by, Mana's army gets larger and larger, and it's going to be easier to deal with these Adepts. Here we go. The Adepts are going to be revealed. Mana just waiting for the Shade to complete. Doesn't go for it. PAPI trying to bypass those Stalkers. Is forced to go the long way around as Mana pushes forward, and PAPI may be forced to recall. This Stalker army is going to hit like a truck, especially with this reinforcing gateway. Force fields were used earlier. The sentries are being focused on one after the other, and Mana, he just waddles into the main. At the same time, Adepts are getting into the main base of Mana, so chaos is ensuing all over the map in the main base of both of our Polish Protoss players. Probes are falling left and right. And who's going to come out ahead? It looks like, oh, there we go. We get that picture-in-picture. We have we have a recall back home. We have an overcharge. We have a shield battery as well. It looks like PAPI will come out worse for wear, but did I speak too soon? Oh. Pretty even trades. PAPI loses 13 probes and Mana loses 12, and we have an even worker count. Crazy. The downside is that PAPI also had to throw away a lot of his army. And there it is. GG gets called. The Adepts get cleaned up. Mana has an insane Stalker lead. PvP PAPI as Mana takes the series 2-0. Very well done from our Polish Protoss player. Team Liquid will be able to take it in the end 5-1, but a shout out to the players from Berserker eSports. PAPI made it close. PAPI almost took game number 1 against Mana, but Mana just went Super Saiyan. He was just hyper efficient with his army and clawed his way back in. Likewise, DIMAGA put a point on the board and took a game off of SKillous on his birthday. Again, shout out to DIMAGA. Shout out to Berserker eSports. They did fight well for themselves. They did perform well. But with that, that is the end of our first matchup, and now we are going for a short break. When we return, I'll have a co-caster, and we'll have on-site.